You might have heard about how lab-grown meat is supposed to save the planet, because then we no longer need farm animals, and how this is supposedly better for us because there is less saturated fat in the meat. But there are many aspects of growing meat in a lab that you might not have thought about. And one of them has to do with the deuterium content. So in this clip, Harry is breaking it down for you and explains why you might want to reconsider whether lab-grown meat is such a good thing after all. Enjoy! Would lab-grown meat have more deuterium than real meat?
Yes.
Why?
Primarily because of the seed oil that's in there, it would be extremely high. For instance, a pack of chips would have far less, that would have double their quantity. So a lab-based meat would be like in the toxic levels of deuterium, where a pack of chips is high deuterium but not in the toxic levels. It's probably 160 parts per million because it's processed, and it's like sugar generally and glucose are going to be around the 150 odd. But once you process it, you change the composition between deuterium and chromium, and you end up with slightly higher. It's because of the way light water is sort of lost in the process of manufacturing, and you get more heavier water, because lighter sort of is easier for that sort of evaporative effect and stuff like that. So it actually changes the composition. So the more you process something, the more you'll concentrate deuterium in that regard. So that's really you could say the mechanism, but then you've got also the food components in the lab-made meat that are also problematic because they're very high in seed oils. They use a lot of seed oils. When you look at the ingredients, because I actually looked at the supermarket where they had sort of the plant-based burgers, and they had the chicken burgers and all that, and I just went through out of curiosity, and I'm just so many entries of different types of oils that were in there, and I'm going, bloody hell. And even some refined stuff depending on the product and the company. So even some of the refined, and even refined also does increase. So the same thing with so-called healthy coconut or palm oil or olive oil. If they are refined, they're going to have high deuterium as well. Probably not as high as some of the other oils, but it depends on the refining method as well. So the refining method, for instance, in Indonesia, they're going to have slightly lower. The refining method in Malaysia actually produces slightly higher levels of deuterium in their refined oils of, palm oil and stuff like that. So it's quite clear that there will be variability within a population of what they're getting, depending on also the refiners that they're getting it from. So there's a lot of variables when it comes to deuterium levels in food. I just say to people, the less refined stuff you got in your diet, you're going to be a hell of a lot healthier. That should be your red line for most things, to limit refined stuff in your diet. And obviously, there is no place for toxic seed oils at all in your diet.
Yeah.
Really, there is none. You want fried food? I understand. I enjoy fried food, and I've got a fryer as well. You know what? I go get a whole lot of big packs of lard, fill that fryer with pig's fat, and that's what I cook my stuff in. Simple as that. It's not complicated, guys. I wouldn't worry too much about animal fats the way I would worry about the vegetable fats and stuff like that, which, just the moment, even olive oil, cold pressed olive oil within a couple of days from being processed has more aldehydes and more primary, secondary oxidative products than even any animal food cooked and used for weeks and weeks.
Yep.
So there's a substantial difference. It's just the way the food matrix is within animal foods is just slightly different. It's much more stable.